What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of Dream Firm Spotlight. My name is Tyler S. Clark, co-founder of Dream Firms, where we give you the way to creating your dream firm. And so what I'd like to do today is cover how this client averages 19 niche specific appointments per month. And 19 per month suggests something that is consistently producing month over month and producing in the slowest times of year to be growing your accounting firm. And best of all, she's doing it without a cent on paid advertising. So I'm going to break down the timeline of how we worked with this client, what we accomplished, and what's ultimately creating the results. I'm going to show you as much detail as I can without revealing their particular secret sauce, because we treat every client in a white glove sort of way here. So I don't want to like ruin what they've got, but I want to show you as much as I can without that being the case. Because if obviously you were that client, you wouldn't want me to do that. And if you really like what I'm sharing with you, you'd probably love to hear from this client directly themselves. And so if you want to hear from them, I'll do an in-depth interview. Just drop a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to invite them on to a Dream Firm Spotlight episode. So let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cover the timeline with which I've been working with this client, because I think it's important to set the right expectations. The next thing that I want to do is I want to show you the actual statistics and data that are corresponding with the claims that I'm making, just so that you know I'm not making stuff up, because that would be ridiculous, but people do it all the time, which is sad and pathetic. And then the third thing is I want to show you the actual case study, the work that has been done. And then there's a little bit of the secret sauce at the very end and a very cool example that I will show you as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. So first thing you're going to see here is actually kind of weird, but it is going to be the calendar of my interactions, or the company's interactions, with the one and only Teresa Krantz, which is who we're going to be diving deeper into in terms of her overall success here. But she started working with us in July. And then shortly thereafter, less than a month later, she was already in our Create Your Dream Firm program, our 16-week flagship, where we're really building out, doing a ton of service, delivering like a ridiculous amount of things. You'll see a healthy bit of that, not all of that, throughout this particular video. But what I really want to call attention to is she's working with us for approximately 3 months, right? 3 to 4 months. And then you're going to see the data that starts to get collected for this year. And the reason I'm bringing this up is too many people are short-sighted when it comes to creating their dream firms. Teresa has never been that. She's been a long-term thinker. She's been someone who puts in the work every single day. And this is the type of system that gets better over time. It matures like a fine wine. It's not a quick shot in the arm and then it dies immediately. Like, this is something that keeps getting better. And I'm going to show that to you right now with just some very simple sort of data. But this is the social growth strategy sheet that we like our clients to be a part of and ultimately participate in. And so the number I want to call attention to here is this is the number of book calls she's had since the start of this year. So yes, I'm not factoring in the first 3 to 4 months we were working together. I get that into these numbers. Trust me, she had success. She made money in those first 3 to 4 months, or we wouldn't have kept working together. But this is the power of a system that is running consistently over time. She booked 147 niche specific calls, and arguably one of the hardest categories that has the most niche professionals in it, which is real estate. It's a huge market, but there's already a lot of niched up service providers. So it's tough to kind of carve out your space, but she's clearly been able to do just that. And when you scroll through and you look at these numbers, 20 in a month, 15, 26, 11, 19, 30 in what I would consider the slowest time of year, which is June. So you can see that things are really humming here. And obviously it continues on from there up until where we are today. But just really impressive stuff. And I want to, there's some other things on here. You can see tracking Facebook group growth. She's got 500 members in there now, which is, excuse me, don't want to misrepresent things again. She has a growing group, only about 50 members in there. Again, tough space for real estate. There's already a lot of really big real estate groups. But she's growing across all her social platforms. And so the first thing that we helped her to do is, yes, you've got to have the niche, but you have to have a consistent brand image across all of your platforms, and it needs to look really sharp and needs to stay up to date consistently. And then I'm also going to show you, after this quick brand review, I'm going to show you how people are booking appointments, and then a little sort of secret sauce here. So this is a very professional looking and great headshot, a lot of life. Can find us here. I'm going to point out another important part here, which is the get started button on the banner image. Some people will have this as an image, but then they'll forget the small after part, which is you've got to tell them actually what is the next thing that you want them to do when they click on that image. So pro tip there, some people will get this part right, and then they'll completely botch the second part, which is literally just putting a piece of information in your profile. Think of this as like, it's a billboard. Okay, but it's an interactive billboard that anyone can interact with at any time. If they clicked on it and they couldn't do anything, it would be a terrible interactive billboard, right? But it's your billboard, you have control over it. So this is her Facebook personal page, or it's a profile page, which is a little different. You can see that there's already niche specific content that's on here, which is fantastic. Jump over to Instagram, and I think a lot of people will be like, the follower counts out of whack when they see this. But growing on Instagram is tough, to be honest. Like, she's clearly putting out a healthy volume of posts, but sometimes you got to play the follow for follow game in the beginning. And she has some delegation and leverage, which I'll cover in a little bit as well to help her with that. But again, consistent brand image, looking strong overall. That's the goal here. As you can see that she's got REI wealth builders, real estate investors. So everything is just like, when I look at this, I know what she does, and that's really important. She's gotten into producing some video content. This has been a big point of emphasis now that we've got a lot of the systems in place, the branding's ironed out, is getting her more to the forefront of the brand. But you can see that she's starting to do that, which is great. Not tons of consistency yet, but she's gonna crack that code. Again, just good brand consistency on TikTok. You got X/Twitter here. You've got Pinterest here, which was shocking to me that she had 100 followers on Pinterest, but that's really cool. Good for her. You've, of course, got her website, and I find a lot of people spend way too much time like trying to retweak their website like 50 different ways to Sunday. And it doesn't actually drive you business. The SEO stuff is, I mean, in the age of ChatGPT and just like the manipulations of search engines, it's not the golden age it was 20 years ago. I don't think those days are ever coming back. This is from someone who spent over $100,000 on SEO support in the last 2 years, and like don't really have anything to show for it, to be honest. And I didn't pick a bad company. It's a tough thing to do. Even if you are producing content consistently. So like when it comes to your website, sleek, clean, tell me exactly who you're for, get me an image that shows me exactly what's going on here, and make it easy for me to book a call. That's really all we need to do. And obviously having some reviews. I love the fact that she's referencing our patented Financial 360 here, our initial sales process, where we're effectively basically getting paid to create proposals so you don't get ghosted when you waste time to firm up a proposal. Super, super profitable, really, really smart sales process. And then, of course, you've got your client reviews down here and stuff like that. So you click to book your free strategy call. And now you, of course, got her availability here. I'm not going to go through like all the bells and whistles of like our booking strategies here, but just know that we're pretty good when it comes to getting people on your calendar within your given availability. So super sleek website, super sleek booking appointment. Just a quick Google search. One thing that's fascinating about Teresa is she's more on the startup side. So for people who are like, can we afford dream firms? Like, I would make the argument that you can't not afford us because of how much we do. But she's got a great, just like when people are searching for her, yeah, she only has 3 5-star reviews, but that's better than 0 or none. And she's going to have a hell of a lot more than that when we rerun her review gen campaign with all the new clients she signed up since she started working with Dream Firms. So she's got a lot of cool things going on here. And the last part, and I want to keep this short and sweet here, guys, the last part, and really where a lot of that secret sauce that I was referencing and a little bit more on the data side in a second here comes into play, is on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is, to me, still a gold mine of opportunity. There's just so much opportunity on this platform. It's absolutely amazing. She's got 400 followers for her accounting firm on LinkedIn, which is not a small number for an accounting firm. And what's really interesting to me is not so much the company page, which does look sharp, and obviously her personal page, which also looks really sharp. But there's this little magic that goes on in the background every single day for our clients. And we are effectively reaching out to anywhere from like 30 to like 70 niche specific people automatically. And it just runs in the background. It runs like magic. And what's great about that is that it puts calls on your calendar with very little effort from you. Now, if you want even more opportunity, you'll want to have some delegation of leverage. You'll want to hire what we refer to as a lead generation specialist. We offer that as an add-on to the Practice Igniter Challenge. If anyone wants to check that out, $67. There's an add-on, I think, for like a $200 or something for the lead generation specialist hiring and training. That gives you the whole kit and caboodle. But long story short, you want someone to manage, right? Like all these things that need posting, responding to, reaching out, DMing people, like all of these different things. Like I break out in hives thinking about needing to do that as a business owner. There's just way too much for you to manage and take care of. Plus, as the system is running and messages are being sent out on your behalf, someone needs to respond to those messages and timely. They've got to be quick at responding because speed is king. And so here, this is just an example. I can't show you what Teresa's running because again, like they pay us good money to like help them develop these things and get them running. So I can't just be like, here's the script she uses, but I can show you the fact that it works directly for me. And I just showed you the stats that it clearly works for her. And so thank you to Sadie Carson. This literally came in as I was prepping for this video, but this is an example of this. So Sadie's in my target market, just like it would be a real estate developer for Teresa or whatever your target market is. We say, hey, you look really cool. By the way, I'm kind of good at what I do. Maybe we should talk. That's more or less what this says. Obviously, you can change it to be whatever you want, but this works quite well. They connect immediately, well, not immediately, but within a predetermined set of time ranges, a new message will go out and it's an offer. And sometimes that offer is to book a call. Sometimes that offer is to join a Facebook group. Sometimes that offer is to join you on a event you're putting on with another partner. There's a lot of different things you can say to people, but think of this as basically you're developing a separate channel like email, but it's on LinkedIn and it's way more likely to get read, opened, and get the thing that you want from it, okay? For example, I think we've got like 10, 15 people on the call right now, about 13 on the live. I sent that email to 20,000 people and 13 people are here. Okay. Now, if I had done a similar level of effort on LinkedIn, 20,000 messages, my take rate on that would be like, it would be ridiculous. It would be easily in the 10%, just purely because more people open it and read it. Like your open rates on DMs on social media are like 80, 90%. It's crazy versus email. You're happy if you get 20, 25%. So it literally is the inverse, which is amazing. So anyway, I send this to Sadie and, small pro tip here. One of the things a lot of people will do is they'll just shove links in your face and they'll be like, hey, like, here's the link, book a call with me. And like, that can work. We like to do a little bit of both. But honestly, what I prefer is permission-based direct messaging. And so you're much more likely to get someone to do the thing you want if they agree that they want it in the first place. Because there's a huge difference between clicking on a link from someone I mean, again, Sadie just connected with me. Doesn't matter how amazing my profile is. Like, the dude in Nigeria scamming everybody through email has moved to social media. And so like people should have their guard up. So what's much better to do is you just ask a permission-based message. Can I send you my scheduling link? Would you like the link to join the group that does X, Y, and Z? And then they say, yes, I would, sure. And then you give them the link. And I usually like to provide a little bit of context, right? I like to give them a little bit of a heads up in terms of like what's going on over there. That's funny. Teresa just messaged me. So yeah, again, just answer 3 questions to join. And that gives them the idea that, hey, we're going to request something for you to be able to gain access to the group, which will increase take rates on it. Same thing would be true for, hey, let's book a call to like learn a little bit more about each other or explore our services. By the way, I'm going to ask you some pre-qualifying questions just to make sure this is a great fit and we don't waste time on the call. So you can do some smart sort of psychological things here because it's easy to say sure. It's much harder for me to just click on a random link that came to me from a random person. And now that we've built a little bit of rapport, I can reasonably expect that Sadie will join the group and ultimately become a part of our overall, just like generalized marketing. So I got one last thing for you guys, and I saved the best for last. I think this is pretty cool, but I like this next part even better. So most small businesses stay small because they act like a small business. They don't act like a large business. And if you want to act like a large business, you don't treat data, definitely not your sales or marketing data or like the way that you track data as optional. Like it's not an optional thing. And that's part of like what our large, setup process is like. We want all of our clients to act and behave like larger businesses as opposed to small ones. And so I'm going to show you just a tiny bit. I can't show you everything because client data sensitivity, there are laws and stuff that protect that, so I can't violate that. But I do want to show you just a tiny bit. So this is our proprietary software, DreamLeads.app. It's built on an engine of another amazing CRM, but it's fully customized to the accounting space, and it's just it's amazing. So I think what people naturally wonder is when they hear 19 appointments in a month, they go, well, are they good leads? Like what kind of leads are we talking about here? And I just go ahead and assume that half of them are bad, right? Just go ahead and throw out half. That's a ridiculous thing to say. It's never that bad, but let's just say half of them are bad. You still have 10, okay? Or 9, if we're getting like technical. You get 9. If you're closing 30%, that's 3 new clients a month in your niche. And that's me being like overly aggressive with like, oh, cut these numbers down. And so Teresa, for what is effectively a startup firm, I mean, she's really been in business for a little over a year. She brought in, this is new revenue. This isn't what she's bringing in recurring. This is new revenue. And this is for the last 30 days. She's brought in 25 grand in new revenue in the last 30 days as an accounting firm that's only been around for a little over a year. As a non-CPA. Wild. Wild. And again, we know this because she doesn't treat these things as optional. I'll get to them later. She works closely with her LGS to make sure that all of these things look awesome, that her stats are up to date. And then when she's got her sales cap on, she's following our sales processes. She's updating whether she's winning the deals, what the quotes are worth, what the follow-up process looks like. And again, I can't go much deeper than this. I want to like click around and show you like everything. Maybe if we do an interview with her, again, comment down below if you would love to have an interview with Teresa, and maybe we can get some additional permissions to like show some of the deeper aspects of the software. But guys, that's it. And like when I say that's it in the sense that like it sounds easy and simple. And yes, every single one of you can go and do this on your own. I guarantee you can. It's really not hard. It's simple, but it's not easy either, especially when you're by yourself. And so if you're trying to get to that result faster, then just say what's up to us. Like come check out a CPA Academy webinar, grab Igniter. It's like cost of a couple of cups of coffee anymore. Maybe apply to join the Create Your Dream Firm program if you think you're a good fit. But that's really what I wanted to share with you guys. And if I had to summarize it, it's you've got to have the niche, like step number 1. Step number 2, you got to be extremely consistent across all your platforms, whether you work with us or not, doesn't matter. In order to achieve that consistency, you need dedicated support. You can't do it by yourself. I promise you, it's impossible. Tried, does not work. And then the final aspect of this is like, stop treating data and your sales process as something that is like optional. You've got to have a structured way to bring clients along through a journey, get them to buy something, ideally a financial 360 or just a introductory product that's between $1,000 to $3,000 that gets you paid, positions you as an advisor on the front end, which is where you start the relationship as an advisor. And then you go through, do all the things you would normally do for free, get ghosted on. Instead, now you're paid for it. And now they're much more likely to take you up on a much larger project so that you can ultimately get paid a premium price. You can now scope the back work appropriately. You can scope the client's needs appropriately. And you can slot them into the appropriate package without confusing the client of what's going on. And then you get to update your amazing CRM with all the details so that we can help you, or you can just identify it yourself, whether you work with us or not. And you can say, oh, wait a minute, this lead source is producing better engagements. Oh, wait a minute, this lead source has stopped producing lately. What's going on here? Oh, wait a minute, these proposals have been left outstanding for too long. What's going on here? And this is how you go from having, okay months to $25,000 months. And then you're going to go from $25,000 months to $100,000 months, like Alan Pruitt has done, another client of ours who we need to do an interview with. I have a podcast I'm going to release with him soon. He's amazing, but we can do a deep dive into what he's got too. It's very similar, right? I mean, the playbook is the playbook. So looking to score more touchdowns since football season just kicked off. We'd love to work with you, or at least apply for a chance to work with us. Link will be floating around down below. I see some people asking to reach out and speak with me. You will absolutely have a chance to speak with one of our team members. I have to stay focused on our clients, but just book a call. They'll be able to walk you through everything so that you can ultimately have all the information you need. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And remember that only you can make your dream firm a reality, but we are here to help you every single step of the way. Go sign those niche clients, and best of luck, everyone.